The baddest dude out there is now running around in the wild, and we're not just talking about a little devil. Big boy Mephisto has entered the game, and he's going to be a big problem if you're trying to deal with him. So in this video, we're discussing what Beta Ray Bill did to be the first person to unlock the wheelin' dealin' ruler of hell. And if you're ready to see how to get your own Mephisto and start beating up noobs, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're talking all about the wheelin' dealin' Mephisto, what you need to do to get that unlocked right now. If you want to try to get that early Dark Dimension 7 unlock, what are some of the best teams that you could go in right now? What did Beta Ray Bill do? What are some of the lessons he learned? We're discussing all of that in this video. But before we get to that, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. Usually there's a lot more. We got gameplay videos, news videos, question and answer videos, everything up here experienced in Marvel Strike Force. Let's jump right into the game. As of me recording this, Dark Dimension 7 has been out for about a week. 2 people have beaten it already. Beta Ray Bill was the first, Face Fury was the second, and Beta Ray Bill has already beaten his second run. So yes, there is a big boy Mephisto out there. Second run took him a little less than 6 hours to beat. Let's go into the Dark Dimension 7 node by node. The first 3 nodes, you could bring in whatever characters. These have no restrictions here. Some of the teams that were used of some high damage, well, obviously the big boy Mephisto does a lot of great damage on these first few nodes here. And what Beta Ray Bill used on his first node, on his first run, was Nightcrawler, Void Knight, Kestrel, Lizard, and Black Knight. Also on the other node, Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, Nightcrawler, Black Cat, Black Knight, and Kestrel. But node 3 was a more challenging node. You did need to have Super Skrull. And wait, he did say you need Super Skrull for this node. As you see, everybody that's beaten this node so far, node 3, everybody has used Super Skrull for this, and Beta Ray Bill did do this on his first run. Actually, Chuck Norris did not have Super Skrull. I take that back. Most players did have Super Skrull, but Beta Ray Bill did say that it's very tough to beat this third node without Super Skrull. So if you have that Super Skrull, I would bring him into this unlimited section. Next 2 nodes are going to be the city section. And the characters that he brought in, this is what Beta Ray Bill used on his second run. Actually, the first run here. Second run, he used Big Time Spider-Man, but he did say that Lizard is a little better on the first run than Big Time Spider-Man. So this is probably a little better team than what he used on the second run, which is this team down here with Big Time Spider-Man. He liked that Lizard team a little better. Node 6 and Node 7 is the global section, and few different characters that you could bring in. Beta Ray Bill did bring in these characters here. Nightcrawler, Sunspot for the second run. First run brought Quicksilver, but he said that since the enemies were targeting Quicksilver a lot, he brought in Sunspot for the second run, and as you can see, the damage was pretty good here. Gambit, Black Knight, and Forge rounded out that squad. Next section is the Cosmic section, and as you can see, most players brought the exact same team here. Both the Eternals, which is the team that's kind of like the Infinity Watch that refuses to die. Void Knight, Kang, and Val are required. The other 2 characters, Eternals, are very good, but I think you need Void Knight, Kang, and Val if you're trying to get in right now. Eternals are very good in Dark Dimension and outside of Dark Dimension as well. And then for the legendary characters, a lot of similar characters here. Beta Ray Bill brought in Doc Ock, Black Cat, Green Goblin, Red Hulk, and Nova. Face Fury, very similar teams, except instead of Doc Ock, brought in Morgan Le Fay. And for the Mythic section, you could bring in either 4 or 5 Mythic characters. Well, Beta Ray Bill brought in on his first run Super Skrull, Apocalypse, Dormammu. Kestrel obviously had Mephisto for the second run. Face Fury did a little differently. He had Kestrel, Super Skrull, Apocalypse, and instead of Dormammu, brought in Dr. Doom for this run. Let's go over to the Dark Dimension Planner on MarvelStrikeForce.com and enter some of these characters that we are going to bring into Dark Dimension. So best characters I think are going to be Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, Miss Marvel Hardlight. Those are 2 of the best characters. He liked Lizard better than Big Time Spider-Man. Vulture is a very good character and a very cheap character. Also villain characters. And last but not least was Firestar, the mutant character. So if you have some extra mutant gear, this is a good character that you could bring in. Other choices obviously are big time Spider-Man that you might want to think about bringing in. Kraven has some value on the superior Sinister Six, although Vulture's a little cheaper and still has that value there. And the good thing about all these city choices, they all take 54 or less mini uniques, so it's not going to be some of the most expensive characters to bring in. The cheap but good character trend continues in the global section, so no characters like Sabretooth or Shield Trooper, but all the characters also less than 54 mini uniques. Now, Beta Ray Bill did bring in Quicksilver on the first run, but did like Sunspot a little better on the second run. So a lot of the global characters leaning into the Extreme X-Men and the Out of Time members. So Black Knight, one of the best characters in the game. Gambit is also a very, very good character. Nightcrawler is one of the best characters in the game as well. And then after this point, I think you have options. He went with Sunspot and Forge. As you saw, some of the other players went with Leader there, so those are some good options there, but I think you stick within that Out of Time, you stick with the Cabal, and you stick with the Extreme X-Men. I think those are the best characters that you go after in global. Moving on to the Cosmic section, you see there's not as many choices for Cosmic, and unfortunately most of these good Cosmic choices are Mystic characters. There is one exception, that is Void Knight. He is a very, very good character, and he does take Bio Gear, but Kang and Val both take Mystic gear, so you're gonna need to invest in Mystic. Those are the three characters that Beta Ray Bill said are required for this node. Other characters you could pick and choose, but I do think the best in terms of giving you value in Dark Dimension and after Dark Dimension are gonna be exactly what he brought in with the Eternals. So Eternals are gonna be Mystic characters, but they are gonna give you a lot of value in Dark Dimension and after Dark Dimension as well. Moving on to the Legendary section, luckily all the good characters are cheaper right now. Some of the older characters are pretty expensive, but characters like Green Goblin Classic, Black Cat, Nova, and Red Hulk are pretty much required. I think those are the best options there. After this, you have some other options. You have the more expensive character on the Superior / Sinister Six and Doc Ock. You have the cheaper character that I think is a better overall character, but she's more of a plug and play character right now in Morgan Le Fay. So I think it comes down to those two characters, and I think it really comes down to the amount of gear that you have as you're approaching this Legendary section. If you have more tech gear, probably invest in Doc Ock and go that route. If you have more Mystic gear remaining, you go Morgan Le Fay. If you have more mutant gear and you already have Apocalypse done, you have some of your other mutant characters done, I think you go Rogue at that point or Archangel. So I think it really depends on the gear that you have for this last character. I think if gear wasn't an issue though, I think I would pick Doc Ock for his role in the Superior and Sinister Six. And last but not least is the mythic characters, and there's only really a few good characters to choose from here. Apocalypse is awesome, Super Skrull is awesome, Kestrel is awesome, and then you choose between either Dormammu or Dr. Doom. I think Dormammu is gonna give a lot more extra value, but as you can see, you can still beat it with Dr. Doom because Face Fury did do it with Dr. Doom. So either of these characters, you bring in Mephisto for your second run, and then after that, you have an abundance of all this extra gear. You go back and do whatever character you didn't do in either Dormammu and Doom to round out the team. So looking at the total selection of our characters for Dark Dimension, I think it's a good mix of origin gear and uniques. It is a lot of Crimson gear that you need, but honestly, I thought it would be a lot more to get to beat Dark Dimension 7. So this is what you would need for those teams. Let me know if you're thinking of building up these teams or building up some other teams. If you are very, very close to getting into Dark Dimension 7, you've been saving up a lot of these Crimson gear, you've been buying a lot of Crimson gear, this is probably who I would go with. But if you are months away, like the majority of the players, I would probably just hold off on putting your gear in these characters. Save all your gear, use the Dark Dimension Planner, and right before you're about to enter a section, that is when you gear up these characters. In case some newer characters get released between now and then, you're not gearing with the wrong characters. But hopefully this video helps you in planning towards getting Mephisto, and if this video did give you some value, leave it a like. It is free for you, helps with the channel, and if you want to check out one of the only 10 teams that you need to build at the end game in Marvel Strike Force, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist pump, ValleyFlyin out.